Hello there, this is the Bookkeeping Master on YouTube. Welcome to this video. This is the first video in a series of videos, a three-part series that will cover the basics of Microsoft Excel. Thank you so much for watching this video, for taking the time to be with me today. A bit about me: I am a qualified and experienced bookkeeper and accountant. Now you may be wondering why I'm creating this series. In the bookkeeping, finance and accounting industry, Excel is used a lot and it is super software. It's absolutely fantastic. It's very versatile. It will do anything really you want it to do. And no matter what industry you work in, whether that's finance, accounting, bookkeeping or any other industry, if you're admin based or based in an office, you're likely to come across Excel and probably use it at least weekly. It's used a lot. Get to know it, understand the basics. This video series will help you. Now if you go to my website, freebookkeepingaccounting.com, at the top here, free stuff, start here, click on that. There's a number of pages available here, loads of free training material, management accounts, Sage, QuickBooks, business planning, credit control, bookkeeping, accounting, payroll. It goes on and on. All this is free content. Obviously it's based around bookkeeping and accounting, as the name of the site suggests, but there is a Learn Excel page here. If you click on that, then this video series as well as future Excel training series will appear on this page, and that's why I share this page with you. If you go to my website and go to this page, then there will be other Excel tutorials you can take after this one. So go and have a look after taking this series, because it might be that once you've learned the basics you want to learn more advanced features or other features of Microsoft Excel. As mentioned, this will cover the very basics. I'm taking it that you know nothing or know very little about Microsoft Excel, so I'll really be going through the absolute minimum, the basics, in this three-part series. If you know a bit about Excel, then please still watch the series, because there might be some things that you learn, but it just provides a good foundation, this series, for future courses. You'll be able to understand the basics and work around Excel. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. So this is Microsoft Excel. Your software will look the same as this or very similar. It all depends on what version of Excel you have, but the layout should be pretty much the same. If your software does look a bit different, don't panic. You'll likely find that everything is where it is on this video, and everything I show you how to do, you'll still be able to follow along, even though you've got a different version of the software. So let's have a look. So this is the spreadsheet. We have these letters at the top here, and we have numbers to the side, and you can see there are lines created, spaces between each of these letters and also the numbers. So we get a number of these rectangular boxes that appear, and as I click on each of these boxes I can highlight a box, these rectangles. Now these rectangles are called cells. We refer to them as cells. C-E-L-L-S. Cells. So these are cells, and if I click on a cell you can see this cell is M7, F6. Let's click on a cell down here, U23, G13. So if I click on a cell, it's highlighted, and the reference of the cell, the letter and the number, is also highlighted. It's easy to read which cell that you're on: I5, B2, A1. Now we refer to the cell with the letter first and then the number, just as I have been doing. So M18, M19, G22, G1, etc. Now the vertical columns that these letters are creating, as highlighted in the video, they are referred to as columns. So these letters are columns, they come down vertically, and then these horizontal sort of levels that go across are rows. So we have columns by the letters, and we have rows created by the numbers. So this is column O, row 4, column J, row 9. But you don't say column and row, you can just say J9. But just so you know, you have columns and you have rows. Now I can scroll down, and you can see I can scroll down this spreadsheet and the numbers are going down. This pretty much goes on forever. If you don't have a scroll button on your mouse, you can just use the arrows down here. So we can go down and we can go back up again. And like I said, it pretty much goes on forever. And then we can also go right and left. So we're as far left as we can be by default. But if I use this arrow here, you can see I go right and those letters are moving across the screen. And then I can go back again. Now these cells, we can change the size of these cells. So if I click on a cell, it's highlighted. If I click on the column, I can highlight the whole column. If I click on the row, I can highlight the whole row. So I'm just clicking on the letter or the number. Now I can change the size of these cells as mentioned. All you do, instead of clicking on the actual letter, you just go to the line which is between each letter. So we can actually make this wider, so we can make the width bigger for column E, like that. So you can see that's bigger now. We can obviously make it smaller, so column F is very small now. And we can do the same with the rows. So we can have nice wide rows like this, or very small rows. And we're just clicking and dragging between the rows and columns. So we can change the width of the columns and we can change the height of the rows. And you can do that, just practice on your software doing that, and you can see that we can create cells that are very different to the default cells when you load up Microsoft Excel. Now let's go back. At the top of the screen there's some buttons at the top. Let me just go up here. So you can see up here there's like an arrow that swings to the left. That is an undo arrow. So we can actually undo. If I just keep clicking this, it will undo everything I've just done. So let's keep going. There we go. And we're back to the normal. So if we do something and we make a mistake, actually I didn't want to put those numbers in, then you can just click undo and it will undo that for you. So just keep an eye on the undo, and let's bring this down again. Okay, fantastic. So how do we input data in Excel? Well, you simply highlight the cell you want to put data in, and then you use your keyboard. You can put letters in. So we could put poll, we can put hello, and all I'm doing is writing the letters that I want using my keyboard and then clicking enter. So write, enter, enter, enter. BM for Bookkeeping Master, click enter. You'll move out of that cell and the text will show. You can obviously put numbers in cells too. Let's put a number right at the top here, A1. Let's put in 45. Enter. Let's put a number over here, 87. Enter. And now we have data in these cells. Now we can change how these cells look in the sense of the data that's in them. You can change the data, manipulate the data so it shows differently. So if I highlight a cell, let's highlight the word write. And if I go to the top here, make sure you're on the home tab. It could be you're on formulas or data or something like that. But you go over to home, and then in the box here, we can change a number of things. We can change the font of the text. We can change the size of the text. We can change the color of the text. We also can make the text bold. We can italicize the text, and we can put a line under the text. So let me just demonstrate some of that for you. So with write, let's change the font. So if I click on the little drop down arrow next to Calibri, or however you pronounce that, there's a number of fonts here that can be used. Let's use something that's going to stand out like this. So I can click on that, and you can see the font has changed. We can choose a different font for hello, another font for poll, another font for enter, another font for BM, and all I'm doing is highlighting the font and then clicking the font that I want. Now, as mentioned earlier, you can highlight whole columns and whole rows. So if you want a whole column to be the same font, just highlight it so it highlights all the cells. Go to the drop down list and choose the font you want. So let's do this, and you can see that they're all the same font now. Now if you want to change the font for the whole spreadsheet, instead of highlighting each row or each column and doing it manually one by one, you can just click the top left here. If you click the top left, the whole spreadsheet will be highlighted. So I'm just clicking here between A and 1. Click on that, the whole spreadsheet is highlighted. Then I can choose the font I want, and all the font will change according to the font that I've chosen. Let's do that with the font size. So let's highlight everything, and I'll change the font size to 22. You can see that's a lot bigger now. The font size is a lot bigger, and you can see that the rows and columns will adjust automatically for the size of the font. Let's do 9. Now it's very small. Let's do 48. Now it's massive. But let's go back to 11. That was the default font size when I open this software. We can also change the color of the font. So let's highlight 87, click on the A with a red line underneath, click on the arrow next to that. There's all these colors you can choose from. So we can do a green. You see this is green. We can highlight all of these, and all I've done there is click and drag. So click and drag. So you can highlight a whole column, or you can just select the cells you want by clicking and dragging. And let's make this red, and then this 45 up here we can make purple. Once again, if you want the font to all be the same color, just highlight it all by clicking the left box here, left top box, and let's do a, what should we do? Let's do a blue. So there we go, nice and easy. Now there are some options here. Once again, just select the cell you want to manipulate, underline, bold, italics, bold, italics, underline. So there are some options here to make text bold, to make it stand out more, to underline text, to add emphasis to it, I guess, or to underline a heading, and italics, once again, to make something stand out, to add emphasis to a particular word or sentence. So that's the basics of the data on Excel. This is the very basics. In part 2 I will cover more basics of Microsoft Excel. You can see there are lots of tabs up here that do lots of different things. In this series we'll be focusing on the most basics, but future tutorials will cover more features and more aspects of Excel. Now if you really need help with Excel, if you're really stuck, if this video has gone over your head, then if you go to my website and go to services, there's email support services. You can click on that and you can receive email support for Microsoft Excel, meaning you can send me an email about Microsoft Excel and I can help you over email. The service includes unlimited emails for a 12-month period, so it's really great value and it's worth checking out. Okay, I'll see you and speak to you in the next video.